welcome to Conversation Corner. I'm your host, Safia Satar. Today we're on location with Tommy Clohessy, writer, director, producer, and now actor in the upcoming film To Be King. So Tommy, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in this movie.
I've been writing and directing and producing for a long time, independent features and documentaries, work with a bunch of good people. I met Steve Rahaman. He hired me to play a small role in Bloodline, Tommy Balls. And then he just kept calling me in, making it bigger and bigger, and we did some pretty powerful work. It was a great cast, and he's a really, really very strong director. So can you tell me how you got in touch with Steve, how the two of you... My good friend Charlie Parsley was the lead in that film. Okay. And he asked me to do him a favor and come down and be an extra in the film, and I went with my girlfriend Carol. Okay. And then I brought another friend of mine down, and we shot him in the head. And I did a little banter, I did a little something in that Steve liked, and he just kept bringing me back, so it was a really great experience. So how has your involvement and your experience in Bloodline been different from this one, To Be King? Steve works, he's even better now. Okay. He's faster, and he's honed his craft. He allows, I've been on a lot of sets with Scorsese, who allows his actors to work and create this reality, and he captures it, and he molds you, so the method is similar. But this film is very different. He wrote it and with someone else, I believe, and he's directing it. And the characters, he's using a lot of the same nucleus of actors from Bloodline, some of them, but we all play very different parts. So Bloodline was your acting debut, correct? It was. Yeah, and how was that experience for you, working with Steve as your director? He made it so easy that, and I got 4 roles after that in 4 other movies from it, and it was, and it's a lot easier. I mean, you go to a set, you work 18 hours a day, exhausted when you're a producer and a director. Now, I show up and I do some scenes with him or with other people, and I go. It's I understand why people like acting so much. It's fun. I've seen you in Bloodline, and you're terrific, by the way. So that was. I think a lot of that had to do with Steve and the other actors. But thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. So, as an actor, how do you find the role of an actor different from that of the producer, the director, the writer? How do you, as an actor, as a performer, and as an individual, find yourself challenged? How is it different for you? It's a different set of skills, and it's a different set of challenges. You have to, as an actor, you have to serve the story. You have to try not to act. You don't want to overshine. You realize that when you're on screen, especially when you see in the theater, you're so big, and every little nuance is picked up. So you learn. I've learned that less is more sometimes. And I've watched great actors. You watch them here, how great they are, and what they do. Right. So it's a different kind of work. It's hard because you don't want to bring the wrong background. You don't want to bring the wrong intention. You don't want to work with another actor and bring something else to the scene. Then the scene doesn't serve the film. Right. So, but what's great about Steve is he sits, he talks about it. We go over the stuff. Say, what about this? I'm not crazy about that. Can we do this? And he lets you do stuff, and he captures it. And then you do things you don't realize sometimes you don't realize what's happening. Like you and I will do a scene, and then you'll hit me, and I'll grab you. Something will happen, and it'll be organic. And then when we watch how he edits it, it's you feel like you're a genius up on screen, but it's really done. A lot of it's done in post. He lets you go, and that's exciting. I've worked with other directors who say, "This is the line. This is how you do it," and I'm not. I don't feel so great. I mean, I've done some okay work on that, but I like working with him the best. Okay. Yeah. How do you find him as a young director? I mean, he's fairly young. Yeah. It's a challenging industry. But I've worked with a lot of directors who are 3 times his age who aren't nearly as good. You can't teach subtle work. You can't teach an artist to paint or write or sing. Right. They're born doing it. Absolutely. Yeah. So, about this film in particular, To Be King, what was the most challenging part about it for you? I used to be a boxer 100 years ago. Tell us about that. Tell us about your boxing days. I went to the finals of the Golden Gloves twice, and I won the PAL championship as a light heavyweight, and I turned pro and had some fights, and then I lost my license because of some bad brain readings, a new test. So they pretty much saved my life by not letting me do it. Because I used to get knocked down a lot. Wow, yeah. But I used to get up and win and not remember. I only lost twice out of those times I got knocked down. I don't know, 17 times. When was this? 78, 79, 80, 81, early 80s, yeah. So then when this movie came up, it was very strange for me to walk back into that world, into that gym. And my daughter, Lucia, she started training.
Oh.
So it was just that it came along at a funny time. She picked up. She got really quite good at it. Not boxing, but training. So it was strange to walk back into that world, into the gym in which this movie was shot, Jimmy O'Farrell's gym.
Start City.
Start City. I used to box those guys in the Golden Gloves, and we would get so nervous, like, oh my God, we got to fight one of Jimmy O'Farrell's guys, because the guy's such a great trainer. He was a legend then.
Right,
and we lost him recently.
Yeah,
everybody knows he was wonderful, and his son is wonderful.
You trained with Jimmy?
I fought his fighters.
Okay.
Back in the day, I think I beat one of them once, and one of them, Russell Council, who trained out of the gym, beat my brother in the Golden Gloves, my younger brother Teddy Classy. Yeah.
So boxing is in the blood. So this movie, there's a certain affinity there.
Yeah, it made me. Yeah, it's nice to be part of it and watch it and watch what they're doing. And I don't really know. The other thing that's exciting about being an actor, I don't know what's going on. The other fighters, and I mean the other actors and what they're doing. So I come in and do my scenes, and I'm trying to piece it together. And I'll ask Steve, but he's a little secretive about his work, which is kind of fun. Like Woody Allen. I worked on a Woody Allen movie once. I had no idea. I was in it for a second. That was really my acting debut. Crimes and Misdemeanors. Yeah, I was.
Crimes. Oh, okay.
I was dancing.
What was your role in that one?
I was just a dance. He just picked me out of a crowd to come dance in the.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a weird dude. But
well,
what are you gonna do? But Steve's weird too. I guess all good directors are weird.
Well, yeah. There's a certain. There's a what is the saying? There's a. Whatever.
I'm sure it's a good one.
Yeah. Method to the madness. There you go. Method to the madness. So when it comes to the other actors in this film, you've worked with them on previous movies.
Some of them, Frank Marino, and I worked with Nick Campanile. And then he's got a bunch, and I've worked with Nigel Harvey, who's absolutely wonderful.
And he plays Tyrone in this movie. He's the main.
Film. And he and I had a really going at it. I was a mob captain in the last one. He ran the other family, and we really went at each other. He was powerful then, and this is a much different role for him.
Okay.
Subtle, quiet. We both playing different, but he has a great chemistry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this movie, you're coaching him in this movie?
No, I'm a promoter, and I'm kind of
without giving away too much.
I kind of exploit him a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as I do to a lot of fighters, and our past with Frank Molino's character, who's a good guy trying to help, and I just kind of a little Don Kingish, if you will, doing not the best thing for other people for money.
The previous movie, Bloodline, that you were in with Steve and the whole crew, that won several awards, independent awards. What was that feeling for you when you found out the film had won those awards?
I was happy for him, most of all, because he worked really hard on it, and it took a long time. I was happy for everybody involved. It's a family when working with Steve. That's what I like most about it. I've been on 40 movie sets, and some of them are just magical. You walk in and people look forward to going to work, and a lot of them it's work. Nobody cares about the art. They're just looking to make so this is all about the art. It's not about the money. It's about doing the best work you can in the short amount of time that you have with very little crew. The guy made a movie almost by himself, him and his brother, one other guy. I mean, I've been in movies with hundreds of people on set. He made a movie by himself, a full feature film.
I know, and I saw it.
Yeah.
And he executed it very well.
He did it. Yeah. I'm very proud of him.
So I'm assuming you will be working with him again in the future?
Anytime he calls me. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but there's a film that we're talking about doing. It's a psychological thriller about a father whose daughter is kidnapped, and he goes to get her and saves her, but it's very, very, it doesn't really work out, and at the end it's like almost like the Sixth Sense, where people can't quite believe it. So we're working on that right now. It's called Daddy's Little Girl, as far as I know. So
something to look forward to.
Something to look forward to. I look forward to it. I can't get my daughter to play the part, though. She isn't doing. She's
acting as well?
She's in this movie. I'm making her be in it. She's a singer and a songwriter.
Okay. Yeah. And how is it like working with your daughter?
She's awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I know Nigel, he works with his young daughter as well.
We love it. I think that the fathers and the parents love working with the kids a lot
more. So than the kids.
Yeah, she's just doing it for me. She's looking at me through, oh, really, Dad? But yeah, she's awesome. She's really good at it. I wouldn't make her do it if she was bad at it.
Have you passed on any of your little tips to her?
I'd like the other way around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she sings and writes beautiful stuff, so I kind of I've learned a lot from my own kid. I'm blessed to have her. She's an awesome kid.
So what is to be expected now from Tommy going forward?
I'm writing two things. I'm doing something, the life of Ed Gersh. It's called A Strong Collected Spirit, about a boxer from the 1940s.
Okay.
So we're going to go back and recreate that. I'm going to enlist Steve to help me.
Okay.
He doesn't know it yet. It's the first he's heard about it. And we're writing 4 of the screenplays that we're trying to get done. It's hard, you know. And it's nobody, you know. Everybody's trying to do the same thing.
Right.
And yeah, and I've got some. I'm hoping to get on Blue Bloods and to get on Boardwalk Empire, small tiny parts. So working on that.
They're bringing Boardwalk Empire back. Yeah. A second.
Shooting it now in the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Yeah.
Okay.
My cousin Robert Clohessy is an amazing actor. He's in that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Steve Buscemi. It's a great show.
Yeah, I never got a chance to catch it, but it won several awards.
You should interview some people from.
I should, if I could. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sitting with me, and I look forward to seeing you again in many of the other films. You were terrific in Bloodline, so I'm sure you're setting the stage for what's to be expected
we'll see.
from
We're
you.
gonna have some surprises for him, I think, Steve and I. So we'll see how it comes out.
We know what to expect from you guys.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the next episode of Conversation Corner.
You're nothing like your father, in or out of the ring.
You better check your priorities, King. Cause you ain't nothing without this money, yo. How you think your girl knew about this job?
There's nothing here for you anymore. Get out of my house.
We gotta change our lives, brother. This life that we live is not forgiving.
What else are we gonna do?
Marcus, what the hell are you doing, man? What?
If I could get you off those streets, then I'm willing to take the risk. I'm willing to give you a chance. Take it.
I figured this out. You watched this scum take my father away, you blame yourself for his death, and now you want to find redemption in me.
He's gonna do to you what he did to your father. I can't let that happen again.
He fights Bulldog. Now, sanctioned fight. I don't want any excuse. This is a one-time deal.